Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining me on this fine Saturday morning. Again, still dealing with the crud. Um, Bronchitis and lung issues don't go really well together. So if I go on mute in the middle of a conversation, it's because I have to talk or cough. So bear with me, please. Mike Noodle has just posted the
Yes.
Zoom link. This is extremely important because there's going to be something that you definitely want to check out. Make sure you go click on this link. I'm going to post this in both sides, so go check that out. Should be a good discussion. 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern. Perfect timing to join that. So make sure you open that up, bookmark that, and save that for. Thank you, Paula, for throwing that link in there. Make sure you go
Yeah,
check
for
out
sure.
the Numismatic News Symposium. They've got some great talks. Was able to sit in one and a half. Didn't make it through the other one, but was able to monitor that. So please go check that out. And I don't think you'll be sorry. I think you'll actually quite enjoy some of the information that is being brought to you. Um, Today we're going to be talking obviously
Give
about
me a
it's a
barn
barn
burner.
burner. I got to tell you though, I'm kind of looking forward to
Burn that
this.
barn, Mike. Burn that
Yeah,
barn.
I'm kind of looking forward to this.
Oh, I love him.
I appreciate the conversation you and I had regarding some of this, and I'm really looking forward to what's going to be said. Because we were absolutely right. There has to be a point in the community where people come together and we really, and God, we talked about this for an hour this morning.
Mhm.
Really make sure we support and stand behind people who really have a desire not to make a name for themselves, but to grow the hobby. And
Yes.
sometimes smaller channels have great information. Sometimes large channels have great information. But just because somebody's large and they have a thing on their wall doesn't mean they know what the hell they're talking about. So,
Yeah. We need to support each other too,
yep,
share each other out. And if you come across a good channel that, you know, gives good information and really wants to promote the hobby and help people, share them out. I mean, there shouldn't be
absolutely.
any like jealousy or anything like that on there's no place for it.
Nope, I completely agree. And you guys know this, right? I'm more about building network than I am about my knowledge in coins. Now, I'm learning every day. I have surrounded myself with people who are really knowledgeable in the hobby. They're constantly feeding and correcting me. Right, Paula?
Right.
Yeah. But if you're going to learn in this hobby, you have to understand you're going to get a lot of crap wrong. And so be gracious when somebody tells you that's not quite right. They don't do it to be ignorant. They don't do it to be whatever. A lot of people don't like to be corrected and they get snooty with it. Don't do that.
And I
Um,
will point out too that you have corrected me on occasion, so it's not, everybody needs to be open to learning no matter what.
that's correct. It
So,
goes both
you can
ways.
learn something from everybody. Everybody knows something that you don't know.
Yep.
So,
And when I do my stakeholder analyses for work, and I'm looking at getting people, I don't always go to the most experienced people. I always make sure I have a few people in my group of people, my stakeholders that don't really know the process, don't really know the procedures because they're the ones who ask the right people, right? Um, and so, or ask the right questions, excuse me. Because a lot of times, like, and if I tell you, hey, I'm going to work with your computer, support you on your computer, I need to make sure that you actually know where the power button is. I need to make sure that the computer's actually plugged in. A lot of people take those simple steps for granted, but without them, you can't assume everybody else knows. And so that's absolutely right, Roxzilla. Yeah, and be kind when correcting people. But here's the thing: even doctors don't always have great bedside manner. Does that mean that they're
well,
somebody
and
that shouldn't be listened to? Right. So you have to,
sometimes you need to put your feelings aside.
yeah. And it's not
Coins
only
don't have
putting your
feelings.
feelings aside, it's making sure that people understand what the intent is, right?
Yeah.
And if if the intent is to belittle and demean, then you're going to see that across the board.
Good morning, Shastina.
Right. And so it's important to understand the intent. Intent matters, right? So that's going to be the big thing.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to Mike's discussion. There's going to be some great information. I really like this. Thanks, Justine. I appreciate you. So let me do this real quick. Let's go hi to everybody. Pull this up real quick. Miss Going Crew, good morning. Shastina, how you doing? Scotty Aquati's been in the house. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. Mike, again, thank you so much for all your support. Let's see. We've got Jackalope. What's up, Jackalope? How you doing, brother? Thank you for being a channel member. Greatly appreciate you. I think I've got about everybody. Siren is in the house. Thank you so much, Siren, for being here. Jack Gallman is here from Marion, North Carolina. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning, Azure. Hope you're doing well. Facts don't care about feelings. That's a really good comment. Yeah. Jack Riley, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Bill 457. Little dyslexic
457.
Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. All right, so let's dig in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and again, I'm not sharing myself. We're going to be talking about Washington Quarter designs. Now, I've got a little bit of information. Why am I doing Washington Quarters? Well, if you remember, I posted on my channel just a couple days ago the opportunity for you to win. I'm going to throw this over here real quick. The opportunity for you to win a Merc dime. And I showed you this lovely coin. Absolutely beautiful.
Goofy.
Total counterfeit. I mean, it's one of these counterfeits that stand out like a sore thumb. But what I want to do is, in order for you guys to really get familiar with watching these, every month moving forward, I'm going to house a short. And the short's going to ask a question. I'm going to look at very specific information. And I'm going to do a contest every month, starting at the beginning of the month, wrapping it up at the end of the month, and I'll be giving you the answer, and I'll be briefing that particular topic at the end of the month. The prizes are going to range from little to fairly decent, depending upon how in-depth you are. And the questions are going to be one easy, one hard. That way, the skilled numismatist has an opportunity, and the person who's just brand new, really trying to understand what's happening with the coin, actually has the opportunity to get something from it. So there's going to be two levels of items in this particular one. Now, I don't know what the giveaway is going to be every time. It's going to be different, so we'll figure that out. So if you really like this, please make sure you're doing this. I've already pulled the names. This is closed for now. And I want to, yeah, it is, Ms. Coin Crew. Sometimes it can be hard to comment or to find people's shorts. Best way to do that is to navigate to the person's channel, go look, especially if they're doing contests. Click your notification off, turn it back on, right? And make sure those things are done. And if you know there's going to be a contest in that month, go look at their shorts and check out and see where it is, and then go comment on it. So it's going to be out there. I'll put it out there. There's going to be one that I'm going to be putting out here in about 4 days, 5 days. It's going to be on May 1st. It is also going to be on counterfeits. You're going to see something else that's coming out on my channel, and it is about grading. I've had a lot of people ask me about grading, and I have a very difficult coin up there. Paula and I talked about this morning. It is tough to see that. So we're going to do this. And why is that? Well, we're going to be talking a little bit about counterfeits, but we're going to be talking about grading. I'm not a good person to talk about grading. So the only way that I can necessarily do that is to show you graded coins and talk about some of the items to look for. In order for you to really get good at grading, you actually have to have the coins in hand and grade them.
Look at graded coins.
Right.
Yep.
And so we'll be talking about some of those. But the best way that I can give you is to present you with items that we can tell you exactly what the grades are. And then we can bring somebody up and say, let's talk about this coin. And then if they happen to have one, so for instance, if we're looking at a 1995 cent and we have one in MS66, then I'm going to get a hold of Chuck Daughtry and say, hey, I want you to pull up an MS66 1995 and let's look at the coin and actually walk through it. What are we looking at? Talk about the design elements, talk about those elements. So you guys want to know more about it? I'm going to work with the people to help do that. But this is how I'm going to help you do that. I'm going to give you the opportunity to look at them and then make some decisions. So based off of this, I want to have this conversation today. And I'll be giving you the answer to the questions here in about 20 minutes. So what I want you to do is, first off, we have to talk about the quarter designs. Now you see 5 quarter designs, but there's 2 primary and there's technically three designers. Now a lot of people will argue with me on this. That's the wrong one. A lot of people will argue with me on this, indicating that there were only 2 designers. So the one is John Flanagan and the other one is Laura Garden Fraser. Now I'm going to pull this back up real quick and you're going to see this picture on Paula's thing. That is Laura Garden Fraser.
She's a pretty gal. It's not Colonel Sanders.
It's not Colonel Sanders. Although it does look like her a lot. Yeah. That's finger licking good. And so I wanted to pull this up because she actually is prepared. She knows a lot about Laura Garden Fraser and some of that stuff. And again, just wanted to show that because she has presented this. Now I've got a picture of Mr. Flanagan. Mr. Flanagan is, this is one of the best pictures I can find. There's actually not very many pictures of John Flanagan. And this is him. Okay, so you'll see this is John Flanagan. And again, the other person down on Paula's is Laura Garden Fraser. So these are the 2 primary people that we're going to be talking about today. All right.
Looks like
so
Brad
when we
Carlisle.
talk about this guy was born 1865 in New York. And at the age of 20, he had already began really understanding being a sculptor, being a designer, and was able to work under the tutelage of I would consider one of the greatest designers in American numismatics, and that is Augustus St. Gaudens. Mm-hmm. Now, Augustus St. Gaudens allowed him to be an assistant starting in 1885 and worked with him for about 5 years until 1990. And during this time frame, he was able to do a bunch of different things. Now, I've got some photos here. Let me go through some of these and let me pull this up. One of the most famous things that he is known for is this particular piece. And this was actually the rotunda clock that you can find there at the Capitol building that was created in 1896. So he was doing some amazing stuff at the early age of 30, 31 years old. He created this piece at the age of 31. So very talented, very skilled. Now, why am I talking to you about this particular clock when we're talking about James Flanagan? Well, this design is not Flanagan's. Flanagan's is this design. This was the original quarter. But the original quarter design wasn't supposed to be a quarter at all. It was actually supposed to be a commemorative $half. Now, you guys have been watching my commemorative $half series. Let me zoom in a little bit on that. It should be a little bit larger image. My commemorative $half series. Now, I'm not watching chat, so if you're commenting in chat, I can't see it. So moderators, if you see something that's a specific question, please make sure you save it for me, and I'll come back to it in just a second. This particular quarter was created by John Flanagan in a contest, but the contest was designed around building a commemorative half. Now, next week, I'm going to be doing one on the sesquicentennial. I can't believe I said that right on the first go. I want to give myself a hand. Not to be confused with the semiquincentennial, the sesquicentennial, which was the 150th anniversary of the signing of Declaration of Independence. That is coming out next week. But to be tied with that was supposed to be this particular coin, which was supposed to come out either that year or the following year. Unfortunately, there was a law that was passed, and the committee decided, the law was passed, and then the committee was informed that there was going to be a change, and that this particular commemorative coin was not going to actually go through. Now, when we talk about this commemorative bill, actually, you know what? I said that wrong. This commemorative coin was supposed to be a commemorative half in 1932, not 1926.
Bicentennial of Washington's birth.
Yeah, but the year it started was 1924. I had my years wrong there. I wanted to correct that. Sorry about that. But on March 4th, 1931, there was a bill. And again, all coins are created through bills. There was a coin act that was created March 4th, 1931. And the Mint Assistant Director, Mark O'Reilly, wrote to Charles Moore and said, hey, you guys have this commemorative half. However, you can't utilize this because we're going to utilize those designs for the quarter. We want you to take these designs and we're going to throw the winner out. Now, the winner had already been Laura Garden Frazier. She was the one who that. Say again?
Twice she won.
Yeah.
Twice
I'll get there. I'll get there.
Yep. Okay. Sorry.
It's okay. So she was the designated winner for the one who was going to be doing the design for the commemorative. Remember, they started this like 8 years ahead of time. But when Charles Moore, who was the chairman of the Fine Commission, heard this, Mr. O'Reilly said that we're not keeping this. They need to be adapted. Well, here's the kicker. The commission didn't agree with that, so they didn't submit her work for the quarter. They just took it and said that they would adapt it. Well, the new Secretary of the Treasury, who was Andrew Mellon, said, I'm sorry, but she didn't submit, so we're not going to choose her. Well, this really pissed off the commission. And the commission started to say that this was because of she's a woman and that she was doing this. And that's not totally true. I'm not saying that he wasn't chauvinistic. However, there were other women who had submitted quarter-based projects, but they didn't get selected. So there was this big to-do about who should and who should not be on there. Well, a new treasurer of the secretary came on in 1932 and ended up taking over that position. His name was Mills, or Ogden Mills, I believe. And they reached out and said, oh, hey, perfect, right? We got a new treasury person. We're going to go back out. We're going to tell them that, hey, there was a misunderstanding. And he said, no, we're not going to do this. We're going to make sure that Flanagan's design is actually on the quarter. And so, again, as Paul had just stated just a second ago, twice she was turned down for her win as the designer of the quarter. Now, Flanagan would only end up having one design in coins. Now, he did multiple metals, but he only would have one design in quarters, and that would be this one. Now, when we look at this particular one, this is Laura Garden Frazier's design. Now, you'll see this. It looks very familiar because we've seen this on different quarters. But the first use of this actually came in 1999 when they put it on the George Washington commemorative half eagle. Now, this is a gold coin commemorating the 200th year of the bicentennial of Washington's death. This coin has one of my favorite reverses. And I don't know, I think I saved a picture of it. That's the gold
there you
coin.
Go. That's the $5 gold.
But I don't think I saved the, let me see. Actually, you know what I do? It's right here. There we go. There it is. There it is. Oh, God, that's a beautiful thing. I love this coin. So it wasn't for a number of years. Now, she would create that design in 1931, but it wasn't until 1999, 68 years before her design would be realized and be put onto a coin. Now, I'll tell you what, it's a great coin to be on. And then she would also have other ones put on later on. And she has multiple coins, multiple metals that her designs have been on. When you talk about the commemorative coin series, she's the designer on quite a few of them. She's done a lot of work with,
3, I believe.
In the commemorative series?
Yeah.
3 or
I
4.
think 3.
Yeah, 3 or 4. I can go back through and pull those up. I have them all listed
She was
because
the
of the
first
series I'm
woman
doing.
to design, have her design on commemorative too.
Yeah, well, she did some work with her husband on one, and I just did the video
Yes.
on that. That's the Oregon Trail.
Yep.
Right. And so she was acclaimed. So it was a real kick in the pants for her to lose this because she was already well known. And again, a lot of people will fight that the fact that this was chauvinism that prevented her from doing this. But in a statement done by Mills later on, when they went back through, the reason he didn't overturn the decision that was made by Andrew Mellon was because when they were looking through it, they didn't actually see the information for resubmission. So that original contest that Laura Fraser had won, she had never actually resubmitted it. The Commission of Fine Arts had just assumed that being the winner, her item would be looked at, and it was not. And so the commission screwed her. And that was an unfortunate thing because honestly, out of the 2 designs, I definitely like her design better. Now, John Flanagan's design, again, we'll go back through here. I've got multiple things open, so I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between these. I love this piece, by the way. We'll get to that one in just a second. Washington was on the quarter with other designs. But earlier I said that Washington or the designer actually had 3 different people. Now, why do I say 3 different people? Well, because when you were looking at the modernization of the portrait for this particular one, there were things that were done. And the modernization was done by a man by the name of William Cousins. So William Cousins, actually, if you look at there, you'll actually see the WC here. And what happened with that is that he was the one that actually went through and updated Flanagan's design. So even though he utilized Flanagan's original design, he's the one that actually created the more modern portrait of this. That's why you see the more detailed hair and you see more detail in the ribbon and the lashings down for the bow. There were some other things. Some of the lettering has changed. And that famous choice in G's was one of those things that we forever now will know as in COD we trust because of that stupid little freaking choice in the serif in later options. Not this particular one, but later on. So, all right. Now, I gave you guys the answer to the question on who or what is my second item. Now, I'm going to pull this back over here, and I have this up here. So there was only one person. Ooh, where'd you go? There you go. There was only one person who actually did this. Now, I've already drawn the names for the people who have put in on the YouTube short. So first off, everybody who did that, I had a couple people reach out to me via email and say that they subscribed. We'll get to that in just a second, Bill. And again, I haven't been looking at chat, so I apologize if you've said something or called me out on something. I haven't been looking at chat at all, so I'm not even going there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw for the winner. And I can tell you, looking at the comments, responding to the comments, I have found only one person who answered the item. Now, there were great answers, great responses, and I want to address those. But there was only one person with the answer that I had. So we're going to draw the name here. And then I'm going to Sean Reeves. Washington quarters weren't struck until 1932. So an 1865 quarter would be a seated Liberty medal is most likely the wrong composition. Absolutely correct. So I am going to, right now, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to this particular one. And what was the name again? Sean Reeves. So I'm going to go down here to Sean Reeves. Find out where they're at. And there you go. Okay, so we're going to reply and I'm going to winner.
Winner, chicken dinner. I think that people got confused because they were trying to find stuff on that particular quarter. You know what I mean? Like not
Well, and
why.
I'm going to get to the very specific. And so you guys, there was one person who gave me some correct information, but I'm going to address some of these comments because some of the comments were very, very good. Okay. But I was looking for one very specific thing. And it's the one thing that would have prevented this from ever happening. It doesn't matter that there's design elements on here that weren't implemented in that particular year, but there's one thing very particular that absolutely prevents this coin from ever being possible. That was what I was looking for. So what is that item? So again, reach out your prize. Okay. And that is Frostbyte coins at gmail.com. And if you guys haven't noticed, I have tried to make my email better. So congrats. Okay. So I've done this live. You guys have seen this. There's no question about who the winner was. I reached out. They get the notification. Congratulations, Sean Reeves, on getting that. Now, let's go in and let's dig this out. Now, is the Acadian here? The Acadian is going to be rather upset because he had the opportunity to be the second person with the right answer. Unfortunately, he didn't follow my instructions. And then when I asked him to correct it, he took his answer out. The one person that had the correct answer is right. Come on, where are you? Come on, where are you? See, there he is. He changed it. He should have done this if he would have left it alone. It'd have been so much better, but he had a lot of good reasons for this. But Coach's Magic, he's the one that had the correct answer. And what was that? John Flanagan couldn't design a coin in the year he was born. John Flanagan was born in 1865. It is an impossibility that Washington could ever be on a coin in the year of his birth. So that is the item that I was looking at. No other element. It doesn't matter that Liberty's there. It doesn't matter that it's the wrong size. Doesn't matter whatever. The design element itself could not have existed because the designer was born that year. Now, I don't know about you, but even savants have to wait a couple years before they can do this. So, Coach, I want you to reach out to me if you're not here. So, again, Coach, you are going to win the big prize. And now the big prize is going to be a Washington commemorative. You guys have seen the Washington commemorative coin. It is the proof. Yep, he wasn't born yesterday. That is correct. So I'm going to be sending him one of the Washington commemorative, and you've seen the silver. I don't know if they're silver dollar, if they're the $50. But neat coin. And again, I did that because, again, this is George Washington. This is a topic relating to that. So Coach had the correct answer for that. And this is how it's going to work. I'm going to do this every month. I'm going to create an element. Sometimes they're going to be easy. Sometimes they're going to be hard. Now, I want to pull this one up, and I want to pull this particular one up. This is the Acadian. Now, he went very in-depth, and there were a bunch of good answers here. He listed all the coins that were available in 1865 and also talked about In God We Trust was the only one that had that particular design element in it. This was a great answer. And what this is critical thinking. This is actually going in, digging into the coins, finding history, figuring out the information, and learning about this. So the Acadian carpenter, I think, I can't remember his full name. I always get that wrong. Acadian collector. I want you to reach out to me, and I'm going to give you one of my channel rounds. I'm going to give you a sticker pack. There's a lot of other people that have done some great answers in here, but this is exactly what I want to do. I want to foster learning and growth. So I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to be very simple, very easy. Get an answer. You win a Merc Time, whatever the prize may be. Maybe it's a 1960D 1mm64. Who knows? We don't know what it's going to be until the month comes up. I'm going to be working with some people to get some various items and varieties and things like that to give kind of a variety, for lack of pun, to people so that there's something to engage in learning. It's free. It doesn't matter to you. It's just an opportunity for you to participate and for you to learn, because ultimately that's what this is about. So again, the answer to this, George Washington couldn't exist on a quarter in 1865 because that was the year the designer was born. So, Coach, congratulations on getting the right answer. And then again, for the other person who won this, congratulations. In a few days, you'll be seeing another one of these. So pay attention to this. This is a great opportunity for you to go in, do some investigative work, learn a little bit about the coins, come up with a really cool answer, and then reach back out and we will move forward. So again, thank you all for doing that. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to do that with you guys. All right. So let's go back to here and let's, hold on. Where did I go? Boom. There we go. Okay.
Which way did I go?
So cool. So if you guys liked that, if that's something that you guys like and you want to see more of that, please let me know. I thought it would be just a fun way to engage. And you guys, I see you guys in IDA streams. You guys do trivia. I see you guys play different games with people. I see you guys asking questions. There's tons of inquisitive minds around here. So let's talk. Hold on. People want to go back and pull that up. Let's talk about this coin for a second. Yeah, the hair around the ear absolutely is wrong, right? So there's so many design elements on here that's wrong. Number one, it looks like it's the size of an Ike dollar. We don't know that for certain. It's very hard to do that because of the size of people's hands. People with small hands can make small coins look bigger than they are. So there could be a little bit of a deceptive view from that. We don't know how big this person's hands are. But there's a lot wrong with this particular item. It's clearly counterfeit, right? That the question of it being authentic is not even a question. It's clearly fake. But again, the whole purpose for me looking at this was that I wanted you guys to look at the design elements, right? And think critically. So small hands make everything look bigger. Well, Papa Giorgio, we're not even going there. You know what else does it? Cataracts. Cataracts are good. They make people look pretty. My son outside the door is like, "Did you just say that?" Yeah, but no. It's anyway. I hope you guys like this. I hope this is something you guys want to do. I'm going to do another one. The other one that I'm going to do, I'm going to come back over here. Which is this one. A lot of people. Okay, we're going to be talking about this one here in a couple days, and this is one a lot of people have said. Oh, Bill just had cataract surgery. I had cataract surgery just over a year ago, and it's amazing the change. This is another one, and I've already got some people answering comments in here. This is going to be up for a few days. Many of you have said, Frosty, we want to see more on grading. We want to see more on how to grade and learn about grading. And the only way I can really do this for you is to show you pictures of graded coins. Yeah, I know it's a beauty, isn't it, Jack? I wanted to pull out not only a good coin, but a fairly hard coin. But I want to talk to you about this. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a hint when it comes to this. And it's an art form. Grading is an art form. But not every coin is graded equally. Okay, that's your clue. So in order for you to understand the grade of a coin, you need to go look at coins of that grade. That's all I'll say about that. We'll talk more about this. I'm going to have more people up. I've already reached out to Blue Ridge. I have to follow up with him. I haven't been able to secure
He's
a time.
on vacation right now. He's supposed to be stopping by my house today.
Oh, beauty. Well, then when he gets there, tell him that, we need to have him up to do some grading stuff.
I'm going to tell him something.
Chuck is always available. I'm going to reach out to Chuck as well. He does a really good plain explanation about grading. He's done stuff on his channel. He's done live streams where he's actually done bulk submissions and gone through and look at stuff like that. I am not even decent when it comes to doing this, simply because, as yours says, hide the silverware, Paula. Um, that's funny. Um, I am decent to certain coins up to 61, 62. When I was looking at this particular coin, I was totally wrong. Like, and Paul and I talked about why I was wrong. And I knew the approximate grade because of where I got it from. But I was not quite right because I was anticipating it being something because of my understanding. So I want to give you guys opportunities, and then what we'll do the same basic thing. I'll create a video. We'll talk about the grade. We'll talk about the high points of the coins. We'll talk about things like this, and the money grades, exactly. We will talk about some of these elements because, again, get familiar with understanding the grades of certain denomination of coins. It's very important that you don't try to grade one of these like you do a Morgan, or you try to grade one of these like you would a Mercury dime.
Know your series.
Every coin has specific design elements, and you need to grade.
As does the dates.
Yep, exactly. And so go in and look at those. It's very important. So this is the best way that I could answer the call for this. I will have some people on over time. Mike, I probably will reach out to you guys and have you guys on if you guys are willing to do that, and pull some coins out and talk about the grades and actually look at them. But the best way to do it is to look at photos and look at grades in hand, and then take them somewhere and say, this is, are we net grading for EAC standards, or just what the TPCG grade? Yeah, let's not get that specific, brother. Let's just do TPG grade, okay? Let's just, yeah. We can go back to how it was written, but even they don't grade that way all the time.
Well, hopefully they're grading by EAC standards.
Yeah, well, we know that that's not always the case. It's changed. There are some companies that are calling them back into this. We've seen as CAC. I think we've talked about this before. As CAC has come on board, we've seen the numbers tighten back up, right? So hopefully they're getting closer to those standards. But again, let's just stick with what's happening right now.
Was an Annex fan, THS,
until last week.
They've recently done something that has soured me towards them, but
yeah, and I'm actually reaching out to them. I've been really sick for the last week, so I haven't been able to follow up with this. Hey, coach, by the way, congratulations. Hopefully you got notification that you won. You were correct. You were the only one that had the correct answer with that Washington quarter. In fact, it was virtually impossible for a coin to be designed on the year of the designer's birth. So congratulations. If you'll reach out to me, coach, I have a Washington commemorative coin that I'm going to send you for that. So congratulations, brother. Hopefully the other guy pops in here and says, hey, I just got notification of something. But I'm going to be posting these. We'll be doing these a few, maybe once a week. I think one a week is, oh, you already talked to Skip at Annex. Outstanding. I'll be, I'm going to send out one and just say, you know, hey, could we chat about this? I don't know that they'll actually allow me an interview.
I sent them an email. I sent Annex an email and have not heard anything back about that 40th anniversary counter stamp.
Yeah, I want to find out more about that. I'm going to ask them if they would like to talk about it.
I am so
I don't think they will. I really don't think they will.
I don't think so either.
Because I think if they realize, hey, you know what, we've talked about this in our panel, a lot of the community is wondering what in the hell's going on.
A lot of people are wondering.
Yeah, so we'll see. This may be one of those things where they're like, you know, this is the new Coke. You guys remember new Coke? The biggest marketing blunder in U.S. history. This is probably going to be that for Annex, unfortunately. Hopefully it doesn't totally destroy them, but they've got some integrity they got to pick up on. This was kind of a blow to them. I would call this a boy and shark moment, but we'll just leave it as it is.
To do.
Yep. Clear Pepsi, yes, Clear Pepsi was not very good, but nowhere near the marketing blunder that New Coke was. New Coke was the biggest marketing blunder in history. But yeah, so anyway, congratulations, Coach, on that pickup. I'll get that out later today. So again, just wanted to walk with you guys through this particular one. Again, this is the one that's out right now. You can navigate to it on the shorts and you can go comment and tell me what you think. There's a bunch of different answers here, ranging anywhere from 512 all the way up to MS63. So you can see there's a wide range here. And I'd be careful copying anybody in here because it doesn't mean they're necessarily right. They may be close, they may not be. So do your own research, figure it out, put it down, and then we'll be doing this in a couple days. And if you guys like this stuff, again, feedback is very important. I can do all the stuff I want to, but if it's not going to reach you guys, it really doesn't do us any good. So make sure you're commenting, letting me know that you enjoy this stuff, and we'll continue to do so. All right. Well, we don't need to show this anymore, so we can do this. All right. Now, we just had a really cool coin show going on. Today is the final day, if I'm not mistaken. We talked about this earlier in the stream. There is a really cool link, and I'm going to put this here. This is the link to a Zoom call from Mike Nodelman. He's going to be live this evening, 4:30 Central, 5:30 Pacific, talking on the Newman Numismatic Portal.
No, not 5:30 Pacific.
Eastern, sorry, 5:30 Eastern. 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern.
2:30 Pacific.
2:30, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So make sure you bookmark that. Go check that out. There's going to be some good information there. Yeah, 2:30 Pacific. Thank you, Mike, for the clarification. Go check that out. He's going to be the finisher, the closer, the wrapper of ceremonies. Yes. Although I don't think he's going to be rapping.
The rapper.
Yeah. Check out this coin. But
MC Noodle.
Look. Paula, look.
Look.
I got one.
Yay.
And I got this too. This came from Mad Stacker. But yeah, so anyway.
I love that.
I do too. I wish I could have been there and got it in person, but I did get it from somebody, and I was very happy that they hollered at me and told me, hey, I know you want one. Old Coke. Yes, old Coke. It was never the same. They tried to go back to the original recipe. It never was the same. They had changed their bottling production to meet and align with the new Coke, and that bottling production was never the same. They never actually had the same product afterwards, and it totally destroyed it. Now, on Wednesday, I released a video. Now, we're going to be talking about, we just talked about the Washington Quarter. We talked about the commemorative $1. It's going to be the sesquicentennial. Now, there's a couple things on the sesquicentennial. If you guys are interested in the semi-quincentennial, semi-quincentennial, which is happening in 2026, if you want to know about...
Semi-sesquicentennial.
Say again?
Semi-sesquicentennial.
Semi-sesquicentennial.
Semi-quincentennial.
I was right. Yeah, hush, you're confusing me. It's the sesquicentennial and the semi-quincentennial.
Semi-quincentennial.
I even clarified that on the video. If I use those interchangeably, bear with me. But that's coming out on Wednesday. And why am I saying that? Because in 2026, we're going to be seeing some designs that, if you look at what happened in 1926, you look at some of the events that were happening, there were some commonalities that were happening, some items that were happening, and some decisions were made regarding the coins. I want you to look at that. I think it's going to be really important for you guys to be looking at some of this stuff and making decisions. So feedback is extremely important, not only to CAC, but to the Mint. And as you start seeing these releases, again, I just did a short regarding the Superman. The Superman's kind of wonky looking, right? But feedback is really, really important. And if you're interested, every year or two, They have open opportunities for you to vote for people at the CAC or things of that nature. And you can even, it's a paid position. If you have the opportunity, you really want to do something to interact with the coins and actually have a say in doing that, you can actually go in and try for it. But again, speak loudly. And I'm going to say this, I'm not going to say anything more because
Carry a
it'll
big
start
stick.
to say again.
Carry a big stick. Isn't that the saying?
Yes, it is. But it's our coins are very political. And so watch that video and reach out to me and let me know. Miss Coin Crew, Eric is taking his dog to the groomer. Unfortunately, his dog rolled around in a bunch of burrs, and being a lot hair dachshund, it is not happy. And so I had to get taken in for grooming. So they are at the groomers. What's up, Kevin? Good to see you. Hey, thank you all for being here. I'm finally looking at chat again. Kevin, I sent you an email that that final thing is taken care of. So check up on that. You should see that.
Good morning,
looking
Kevin.
forward to that. Hope you had a great time at the coin show. EMR is packing for canoe camping. Outstanding. Hope you enjoy your time.
Sounds like fun.
Canoeing is always fun. One thing I like going to Austin, they do the canoes and the paddle boards, and you get up there and you paddle the river. It's absolutely awesome. Yes, received. Outstanding. Thank you so much for that. I got a follow-up video on a short regarding that particular coin that I'm going to do as soon as I receive it. So I appreciate it. Vote for Pedro. What's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. I'm going to probably be a few minutes late today. FYI, I'll send you a message later. Old Coke used to be used to degrease engines. I use it all the time to clean battery terminals, believe it or not. It's also really good if you like liver. It's also good to marinate your liver in there, but don't leave it in there too long because it'll totally eat it away.
I only like chicken liver.
Chicken liver. Yeah. You know what? If you take chicken livers and you put them on your roof in a glass bottle and you take them out, they're great catfish bait. Just make sure
I
that
do know that
open those things up outside of the car. You don't want to inadvertently break that bottle inside your car. Not speaking from experience or anything.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's horrible stuff. All right. Well, hey, I think, yeah, it was, God, it's like spilled milk, right? Oh, the smell of sour milk is horrible. But that was.
So can I mention something real quick?
No. No, I'm absolutely. Okay. Go ahead.
So on the symposium talks today, I just put up the link for the schedule. Right before Mike's speech or talk is Greg Bennick is going to be doing one on minting errors. Please go check that out if you have time today. He will actually be on the live coin Q&A with John Miller on May 3rd. So if you're wondering who those guys are, go take a peek. And there's other things today too. Just go look at the whole schedule and see if there's something else that you might be interested in. But make sure that you guys check out Mike's at the very end. At the very end, because we love Matt and Mike, and Mike does the Coin Show podcast, and then he does his ancient coins with Aaron Burke. What's it called? I don't want to get it wrong.
Ancient Coins with Aaron Burke. Yes, it's not the Ancient Coin podcast. I was very, very gently corrected with that one.
Yes, the Ancient Coin podcast with Aaron Burke. He does that, so check them out on YouTube. Those guys are great. And I loved that little test. I had in it, you know what I mean? Loved the little test that they did.
Oh, that was so much fun when Matt came up and they were doing that. Yeah, that was awesome.
Barry is if you really want to feel bad about yourself and your coin knowledge, take one of Barry's tests.
But you know what? I will challenge his knowledge on pennies and the Philadelphia Mint.
Yeah, the 2017 P. Well, I think AI screwed him up on that one.
Oh, that was hilarious. It's like, wait. Hold on.
And when you're talking, a little known thing too, when you're talking about the Denver Mint mark versus the Dahlonega mint mark. The Dahlonega mint mark is actually quite a bit larger than the Denver, and it was actually the D from United, the letter punch from the D of United. They used the same punch for the mint mark as they did for the D of United. So they're not the same. Yeah,
Bill,
tricky.
thank you so much.
D is D, large D, small d.
So Bill just made this, and it reminded me to do this. Free ANA Gold memberships. You can get those today by entering code NCW25G.
2 more days. Mm-hmm.
Talked with the one of the representatives the other day, was renewing, and she's like, tell all of your subscribers, please come join. You can join until the 28th, and you can do this. And
I think it's 50% off of platinum too. If you use that, you can either get the gold or 50% off the platinum. But it's only for new members. It's only for new members. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So if you've never done this, what's up, Reckless? Good to see you, brother. But yeah, you can definitely look at this. Go check that out, and they have some really great information at that level. The resources for coins that are there are amazing. No, there's one more thing I want to talk about. We'll get to that here in just a second regarding that. But I want to plug Reckless real quick. I've told him I was going to do this. He was in last week. I didn't do this. On Saturday evenings, and Reckless, you can put in the time if you want to. Vote for Pedro if you want to put in the link to his channel, or freaking awesome. One of you guys do that, please do so. He does some amazing work. If you guys like poured silver, and you guys, you know how I feel about things like Angry Warrior, some of the amazing stuff that he does, and some of the other people. No, okay. So Azure, let's correct that. I did say I want to plug Reckless. That's not what I meant.
Azure, shame on
you. They do amazing work, and if you guys like, kind of the dark, the fun, the skulls, that kind of aspect of things on your silver, go check out Reckless Metals. They really do have some amazing stuff. They just got really cool. I can take what I get these days. That's horrible, man. But yeah, freaking awesome. Thank you so much for throwing that in there. I definitely appreciate that. Go check out and subscribe to Reckless Metals. Go check out their show. They do auctions. They've got some containers coming out today that are top notch. But yeah, definitely go check them out. Huh?
Did you say potatoes?
Containers.
Oh, containers.
Not potatoes. Actually, they talked about taters the other day with Angry, but they were talking about something else.
Scroll down.
Scroll down. I'm sorry.
Yes, go down. One more. That's Greg Bannock. There it is.
Yeah, 5 p.m. Pacific every Saturday. Yeah, no worries, brother. They do really good work, and if you guys like poured silver, you guys like the silver bars and stuff like that, they do all sorts of stuff. Go check them out. Yeah, and again, I promote quality craftsmanship. I promote art. It's what I like. It's what I do. And so I am not good at those things, but I appreciate and admire those people who are. And I know they work really hard at doing stuff. So go check out Reckless Metals.
Awesome.
So there you go, brother. One plug. But I'm not gonna call out somebody that you know, I don't support or stand by. So yeah, you guys got some cool stuff over there. Go check them out. Now, I'm not going to say anything about their intelligence or their ability to perform good humor. You'll figure that out on your own. No, but yeah, they got some good stuff over there. So go check them out. We'll start doing live streams on Mondays. Okay, cool.
I just wanted to ask Mike a question. Mike, on your chat, will it also be available on their YouTube channel afterwards. I know some of them are available um, on their YouTube channel afterwards. So will yours be also be available for those that can't catch it live on the Zoom call? Eventually. Okay, good. So eventually it will be on the YouTube channel. Good. Okay. Good deal. I know I have to catch Russ's on the YouTube channel because I missed it because I didn't account for the time zone.
I do that all the
But,
time when they
kill
do
me.
that with Easter time, when they always say, okay, it's going to be, 5 o'clock, and they're in Eastern time.
Yeah,
And
I
yeah, I'm
know.
Central, so I'm always an hour off, and that happens to me all the time. It drives me
He
crazy.
said he had like 20 minutes of questions afterwards, and that's like I've been on a lot of these Zoom calls, a lot of these chats, and that's pretty unusual for people to stick around that long and ask questions. So that's great that
Yep.
he
A
did
lot of
that.
great stuff. It starts
Oh
today.
wow.
Let's see. When I follow this one,
Yeah.
numismatic memento,
Love
love
tokens. That's a good
tokens.
one.
That'll be
That's
a
a
fun
good
one. Bob
one.
Blair.
Yes.
Go check that one out. Let's see. Indian Peace Medals, Christopher McDowell at 1:30
Mhm.
Central. Major Mint Areas, Greg Bennick. We talked about that one.
Yes.
And then we have Mike Nodelman wrapping it up. So it looks like there's a really good set of items to do that. This Coin Crew, when is
Everything
Live
is
Coin going to be
neat.
doing it again?
We have a live show coming up May 3rd with Greg Bennick and John Miller.
Outstanding.
We will be announcing our normal live when we will start doing the live again. We'll be announcing that soon. And which day, I can tell you it will not be Monday nights. So it will be on a different day, different night. So yeah, just make sure that you guys have the bell clicked and you will get the notification.
And just as a reminder, for those of you who, you
Lots of
go
good
to a
stuff.
channel quite frequently, but you don't get notifications, make sure you go to the little subscribe things, click on none, and then go back and click on all. Make sure you get that re-notification, that you'll get all notifications. That helps you turn those on. So if you don't get the notifications from people, it's the easiest way to do it. I mute most of my notifications and only turn a few on because I want to make sure I don't get those. And sometimes I forget to turn them back on because otherwise all would happen all day long is ding, 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 ding. And I have too much work to do for that. All right, let's see what's going on here. Jack Riley tossed in the variety grading guess. That was fun. I did see your answer come across. That's really cool. Big Apple Stacker, what's going on? Good day. Yeah, and I think it'll be fun. I think that'll be a fun short program to get people kind of looking at it. And I don't know how else to do it. I don't have coins.
Don't get down on yourself. Right?
Yeah.
Don't get down on yourself. Grading's hard.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Miss Coin Crew. If you don't do it, then it's just ding, 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 ding all the time, and it gets to be too much. But if there's certain things that you definitely want to see, definite shows, then make sure you leave those people on. You'll get 4 or 5 dings from me per week. If you do my channel, that's fine. If you want to turn my notifications off, that's fine. Just know that when I do these contests, you have to do it. Because if I talk about it and you're live in that item and I'm talking about it, you post something, I've already pulled it. So I'm pulling it the night before, that locks it up, it shuts down, and we go on. I pulled the items, I think at like 12:15 this morning. So if you commented afterwards, you wouldn't have even gotten pulled as a guest because the time frame had already stopped. So just FYI. Sorcerer Stan, what's up? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
Good morning, Big Apple Stacker.
Mr. Fugazi himself. Good guy. All right. So that's all I really had. I didn't plan a whole lot. Again, I've been dealing with some bronchitis and I went through a couple days that was just absolutely horrid, and I wasn't sure how I was going to hold up. So I scheduled myself for an hour. But we've got 30 minutes or so. If you guys want to have question and answer time, if there's more stuff to talk about, then please let me know and we can go ahead and do that. I'll turn that off. I'll put the link in. Actually, Paula, you have it. Yeah,
For the symposium?
Yeah, for the symposium. Throw that back in there. Make sure that's done. Again, free ANA memberships. Folks, go check that out. If you are not an ANA member and you're serious about learning about coin collecting, go check that out. I'm going to be pinning that. Actually, at this point, I'm just going to pin it.
At the top.
Because I want people to track that. And that's good up until the 28th.
Yeah.
Let's throw that in there, and I'm going to pin that. And they'll see that it's good until the 28th. But that is really good. The amount of resources that are available to you there are awesome. Now, I give away a number of memberships on the gold level just because it's something that I want to do. I support the ANA. Actually pulled that from Livecoin on that particular one. But it's all a matter of helping you with information that is beneficial. And there's so many great resources there. You'd be amiss to not go look at money.org. There's so much information over there.
If you guys are watching today on this channel and you become a member, that you mention where you heard about it from, because in the Numismatist, their magazine, they mention who referred them. So you can give Frostbyte a little plug in that magazine if they mention that, if they see that he was the one who referred you and they mention his name.
I appreciate that. So yeah, sure. that'd be cool. I know that there's been a few people. I've gotten a few emails from people. I know Nanastack said she got her ANA membership. UCI said she got her membership. There's other people that have done it as well. So, but again, yeah, there's just, it's too good of an opportunity, and it's free. Who doesn't like free, for God's sakes? Especially when it's good, reliable information.
And if you already have a membership and you know a kid and you want to get interested in coins,
hell yeah,
use it for that. Do a YN membership for a kiddo. If they have a birthday coming up or something like that, because they also, I believe that they also send them something to YNs. I believe that they send them a little gift.
There is one more thing that I want to mention. And this was something that, in looking at, I utilized a couple different articles for today's discussion regarding Washington. Almost every one of them I found said the same basic thing. But I found something in an article. What are your thoughts on USA Coinbook?
USA Coinbook's okay.
So this is where I got some of the information regarding the contest.
It's kind of like a digital Red Book version almost. I mean, I think they get their information directly from the Red Book, but
yeah. And so I found pretty good references, and take care, Bill. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourself. Yeah, you get a free ebook download. Exactly. Now, there was something in this particular article that I wanted to point out, and this is why it's very, very important that even with reputable sources, you look at more than one. There was a comment in here, and I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to share this, and it's very small. And again, I'm not knocking the people, but again, this is a great resource. I'm going to put this in chat so people can look at this. And this was where I pulled a lot of the contest-based information from. But this right here is something that I have problem with. And I'm going to leave that here. I'm going to read it out loud. And Paula, if you won't answer, Mike, if you won't answer, I would appreciate that. And if Jack Riley's still here, you don't answer either. John Flanagan's Washington quarter was first produced in 1932 as a silver quarter. However, it was not issued to 1993 due to the Great Depression and excess supply of quarters from the year before. The striking was continued again in 1934. What's wrong with that statement? Now, it's going to require a little bit of looking into. I know there's a couple of people that would probably know that. Paula, do you know the answer off the top of your head?
Don't. Sounds accurate to me, but
okay. So there's something wrong with this statement. Now, it's not blatantly wrong. It's right in a sense, but it's wrong. And it's important that you understand these things. Okay, so give it just a second. Have a couple other people answer in chat if they do that. I haven't seen any answers yet. Kevin, if you're there, go ahead. If you want to feel like you want to answer, fire away. What about my 1933 quarters? Well, no, they meant it in
coins can be, now remember, coins can be minted with different dates in different years.
That's correct.
So
Jack Riley, fire away. Fire your guess off. Go ahead. So again, when we talk about this, it's very important you understand something. Jack Young calls something, no, that is not the answer. There was no 1931 quarter. Bing, 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 bing. Kevin, congratulations.
Oh, I see where you were going with that.
Okay, so they say that an excess supply is quarter from the previous year. Now, there were a large amount of 1930 standing Liberty quarters, and they weren't really distributed because of the Great Depression. So the content is not technically wrong. However, it's wrong. Because 1931, there was no standing Liberty quarter. In fact, in 1931, Jack Riley will probably like this. 1931, they actually busted a fairly significant ring of counterfeiters for the standing Liberty quarter that was trying to create 1931 quarters, because apparently they didn't get the memo. And there was a significant ring of counterfeiting that was going on that was busted in 1931. It's the only reason I happened to catch this. If I wouldn't have known that little fact, I would never have realized that this was actually written slightly incorrect. It's important to cross-reference things, because even though this isn't technically wrong, it's wrong. Because there was no quarter issued in 1931. Kevin, congratulations. That's a great response. I'm glad you knew about that. But yeah, so the standing Liberty quarter was not minted in 31. It ended in 30. And then this one didn't come out to 1932. So again, it's a little nuanced, but this one is wrong. Now, why am I saying this? Well, it's because cultivate multiple resources when you're doing research. Don't base all of your items off one AI description. Odds are it's going to be wrong. Don't base all of your information off of one article. Now, when you look at my screen, you look up here, look at all of the different articles that I referenced for this. And this one is all the different events that happened during those years. Why did I look at this? Well, because I was talking about the semi-quincentennial, and I wanted to know specifically about when that was done. Sesquicentennial, I did it again, right? May 31st, 1926, and I was talking about that particular year. I wanted to make sure I had that, so I had these particular references. I had very specific references on the counterfeiting. Here's the counterfeiting piece. Here in 1931, a design competition was done, but there was also a massive, massive, massive issue with counterfeiting. In 1931, I wanted to bring up this particular article because I wanted to talk about that. Looking at the various quarters, talking about William Cousins, making sure I had the right name. So cultivate multiple resources when you're looking at information to make sure you cross-reference and have that information correct. It's extremely important. But I wanted to share that with you, not because it was wrong, but because it's one of those things that as your knowledge grows, you'll start picking this stuff up.
Yeah.
Okay. It's really
Even though
important
it
to do
doesn't
so.
say minted in it, implies that.
It implies that there's something in 1931. And
Mhm.
somebody goes back and looks at this, and let's say they find a coin that's 1931. And I'm sure there's 1931 standing Liberty quarters on eBay or Temu.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll pretty much
We've
guarantee you
seen
can
them.
find them. There
Yeah.
was no standing Liberty quarter minted in that year. So
Mm.
this, even though we know what they're trying to say, it's technically wrong.
Details,
So
details.
as you're heading back out to the gym, take care of yourself, brother. Be well, be blessed. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Don't pull a hammy.
Yep. Unless you're cooking dinner, then you have to pull the hammy out of the oven. All
Pull a
right.
hammy.
So, but again,
Well,
these are just little things. And as we find these things, as we come across this stuff, I want to make sure I share this with you because it's important. It's important to me that you have the right information, and it's important that we share resources and information like this. So, fun stuff.
yeah. We have a interesting, I'm going to be doing a video, and I really want to share it with you guys, but I don't want to share it with you guys because I want you guys to watch the video. But we came across some pretty interesting information about half dollars, like little known fact. And yeah, you guys are going to want to watch. You're going to want to see
Curiosity
it.
peaked.
I want to share it so bad, but I do that all the time. Like I'll share stuff and then I'm like, oh, why didn't I just do a video about that? But anyway,
I got you.
yeah. Yeah, it's one of the benefits of like being a research hound and a book hound, and you find out little tidbits of information that you wouldn't normally hear about. And oh, bye, Mike. I can't wait to watch your thing. Yay.
Hey,
I
Mike,
can't
have
wait
a
to see
great
your
day.
thing.
Wish you well on this, and thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are awesome, Mike. We love you. Anyway, yeah, watch the symposium today. It's going to be a good one. So,
Yeah, definitely go check that out. That's going to be a ton of fun. I think when I leave here, I'm going to grab something to eat, and I'm going to catch a couple of those before. And the
oh,
good
you
thing
better
is
not
that
let your
it's
wife, you better not let the missus catch you.
no. Well, the good thing is that dinner will probably be after we get to go do that. So
Yay.
if I do anything, I'll only miss the last few minutes of it, but
I won't tell.
I'll get to see most of it.
Mhm.
And maybe she'll allow me to listen to it in the car on the way to dinner.
Yeah. Do you have like a hidden, can you turn it on and put an earbud in like the ear that you can't see?
Yeah. Actually, I probably could do that.
Just don't have any vocal outbursts.
Yeah. So, but best of luck. Enjoy yourself and take care.
Bye, Mike.
Well, folks, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. Y'all, thank you so much for being here, for all the commentary, for the moderators that
everybody.
came
Have a great
in,
day.
for coming in and saying howdy. Paula, thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate you.
Always.
All right. Well, again, folks, thank you so much for being here, supporting it. I hope you have, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the contest that I'm going to be doing. The counterfeit one coming up. I've got a really neat one for this coming month. I think you guys will enjoy this. Again, I have one easy answer, one hard answer. I'm going to be working with some people to come up with some really cool ideas for this. I've already got a couple items chosen. I've got a really cool one, actually, that I've got to reach out to Jack Young on, that I want to borrow one of his images. That's absolutely awesome. And talk about some of the elements of this counterfeit. I also want to make sure that I'm sharing really good, solid information about how to identify that. So I'm going to be referencing the people who do well at that. And so, again, shout out to Jack Riley, Jack Young, Joe Cronin for all their amazing work in protecting us from counterfeiting. Folks, I hope you have a wonderful day. I need to rest my throat a little bit, go have some hot tea, and go take my next round of meds. Dealing with this bronchitis is a beast. But thank you so much, Shastina. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Jack Riley, again, thank you so much for your support. Jackalope, as always, thank you so much for all your help, for being here, for all the sharing that you do. Robert Bruce, hope you're doing well. Vote for Pedro, you're a stud. Thank you so much for being here. Miss Quain Crew, Mike Noodle, freaking awesome, brother extraordinaire. We're going to be meeting up hopefully next Thursday. I'm going to have to look and see how that works, but we can pull next Thursday. Hopefully we get together for lunch. I will let you know as soon as my schedule is finalized for work that week. Swamp Dog, I hope you're doing well. Kevin Rose, thank you so much for being here. Azure Blue, thank you so much. Silverman, Jack Riley. God, I don't know, Papa Giorgio, AZ Coins. Coins making sense. Y'all, thank you so much. Miss Coin Crew, thank you so much for being here, for all the commentary. I do appreciate you guys. Be well, be blessed, and I will be on tomorrow, I'm assuming, unless I don't feel good tonight, and I'll post something if not. If you guys have a topic you guys want to talk about, please email me, frostbytecoins@gmail.com. Or if you know my number, text it to me. All right, love you guys. Be well, be blessed, and I will see you in the stream.